Reddit Martian back with another tip-top video for you. r/AskReddit. Parents of Reddit, what is your best "why is my kid so stupid" moment? My daughter insists wearing a jacket will make her cold because she only wears it when she is cold. Edit. Thank you for the silver strangers. Can't refute that logic. My toddler watched at least an hour of an animated movie populated entirely by talking animals. Suddenly, a giraffe came on screen and said something. My kid stood up, pointed at the TV, and angrily yelled, "What? Giraffes can't talk." My son, who was 8 at the time, and an only child, carved his very long name into the toilet seat, then claimed he didn't do it. Lol, when I learned to write my initials, I promptly carved them into the top of our TV. When my parents found it and asked me about it, I told them I didn't do it, and they asked me who did. Maybe, brother, did it, your 2-month-old brother. My 4-year son just the other day spilled his water bottle on the floor. I told him to get paper towels to wipe it up. He does. Then I told him to throw the towels in the trash. He wrings them back out onto the floor before he throws them in the trash. Fatsupin. Haha. I'm amazed at how many times I've had to say don't lick that. When my brother was around 6, he decided he wanted to play Tarzan with a cord hanging in his room. However, the cord kept slipping from his hand, so he decided to swing with it around his neck instead. My poor grandmother walked into the room to find her grandchild apparently trying to hang himself. My son. At age 10, I was trying to figure out why my shower was draining so slowly and wound up pulling the drain strainer out. Inside I found a bunch of brown paper goop. It took me a while to figure out what it was. I went to my son and asked him, "Did you tear up a toilet paper tube into little pieces and cram those pieces down the drain in the shower?" "Yes. Okay, brain fries. How about not?" "Sure." When I was a kid, my little brother woke up and thought he saw Frankenstein walking down our hallway in the middle of the night. He took off running in his underwear, out the door, down the block. Several blocks really. A couple picked him up maybe 4 blocks away and brought him home. He was on his way to my grandmother's trailer a good half-mile away. Kicker was, the Frankenstein he saw was my grandmother who was staying with us that night. Took a while to live that one down. Our daughter, when asked what she wanted to be when she grows up, answered, "I want to be a strawberry, but if that's too hard I want to be purple." The color purple. The fruit strawberry. She was 5. I told my class when I was 4 that I wanted to be a parrot. It sounded cool to be a colorful bird, you know? Then some kid told me that was impossible. Little jerk. I support your daughter's goals. When my sister was 18, she was planning a trip to California after HS graduation. She spent several days calling banks to get the exchange rate for money because somehow she was absolutely convinced that regular US currency in Pennsylvania was not usable in California. She thought the banks were all lying to her that it was the same money. I am surprised she even found California. If I can be the kid who made my parents ask this question. I walked into a wall when I was 5 because I was walking around looking through binoculars backwards. Got these 2 massive ring bruises around my eyes. My older brother carved my name into the side of my mum's car with a rock for whatever reason and tried to blame it on me. I was like 4 years old and couldn't write yet. Son always has mystery bruises. Swears he doesn't run into things. We hear him yell ouch from his room, the bathroom, or when he opens the fridge into his face. Last night he was on his tiptoes looking at something on the table. He lowered to his flat feet and almost bit his stupid ducking tongue off because his chin was still over the table. So much blood. Edit. A lot of people keep commenting that he might have this disease or that disease. He doesn't. He smokes kids older than him by 2 years in soccer. He skis with the 12-year-olds. He outruns 7-10-year-olds. He is the most athletic kid I have seen in his school. He is just a bit airheaded and forgetful of his surroundings. My daughter tested as gifted, then got into the bathtub with her socks on that night. A true intellectual. When I caught him peeing in the doorway of his room at the age of 5. His reason? Cause I don't want the kitty coming into my room. Smart. Gotta mark your territory. When my daughter was around 5 years old, I told her to start putting her toys away. She told me she couldn't because she didn't have any hands. While showing me her hands, my daughter was wrapped up in a towel like a burrito after a bath. Tried to point to something in the book I was reading to her while she dried, and suddenly freaked out because she couldn't find her hands. When a sudden rainstorm hit our campsite, my 11-year-old rescued a full water bucket from the rain and put it under the canopy to keep it dry. You can't let that water get hypothermia. When I heard my wife say to my then 3-year-old son, "Name, please stop sniffing all the cars." We were walking through a parking lot. Me waking into the bathroom to check on my 4-year-old son having a bath. "Why are you smashing your penis with that toy hammer?" I have vivid memories of squeezing my balls trying to figure out why it hurt so much. My mother always brings up when she asked my brother to turn on the kettle and he answered, "Shall I make it hot or cold?" and I thought I was stupid. I was that kid. My parents took my siblings and I to a greenhouse garden. Everyone was on their best behavior until I got the sudden urge to lick some foamy stuff off of a window. I was always a good kid. Never caused any trouble, but for whatever reason I had this compulsion to lick this foamy stuff off the window. Poison control had to be called. My parents were frantic. It was an ordeal. I was anaphylactic to milk at the time too. And I was definitely old enough to know better. One time my mom asked me what color my eyes were, so I started looking around trying to see them. On Mother's Day, when I was only small, my dad told me for Mother's Day we would give my mom a lion because she had had a stressful week between jobs, of course. Tiny me had no concept of what a lion was and assumed my dad said a lion. Me, are we actually getting mom a lion? Dad, yes, your mum really deserved a lion, so we'll give her one this morning. I then proceed to sprint excitedly to my parents' room, climb onto the bed, jump up and down over my poor sleeping mother screaming, "Wake up, wake up, we are getting you a lion. Wake up right now." My mother did not get a lion, or a lion for that matter. Our kids were probably 10 and 6. We are at a restaurant and they both order hot chocolate. Our drinks come. Both my wife and I are putting our straws in our own drinks and not paying attention. Both of the children simultaneously stick straws into the steaming hot chocolate and take huge drinks and start freaking out. This is about me, and I'm sure my mom almost killed me for this. In 5th grade, I decided it would be a wonderful idea to lock my backpack to my desk with a bike lock I brought to school for some reason and swallow the key for it. I went to the emergency room and the lock stayed there the whole year. My son has microwaved ramen noodles with no water a few times. Just so you know, they are flammable and smoke horribly and turn your microwave an awful yellow color. Lose debit card. Go through a painful renewal process. Finally arrives in the mail. Kid asks, "Can I see it?" He takes it and bends it in half. I was the stupid kid. I was at my cousin's above ground pool when I was around 5 and there was a bumblebee sitting on the deck. My mom saw it and said, "Go around it." I proceeded to step on it and get stung. I think my little brain said jump over it and instead I jumped on it. A bee lost its life that day. One time when I was half asleep as a kid, I got out of bed to go to the toilet, but instead of turning left into the bathroom I turned right and pissed down the stairs. My parents caught me talking to myself when I was around 5. I had just gotten out of the shower and was staring at myself in the mirror. I had sucked my lips under my teeth and telling myself I have no lips. I have no lips. My mom started laughing and asking what I was doing. To which I replied by popping my lips back to their regular position and exclaiming, "Lips. After all these years even I knew I was stupid after that one. Do you know what you are? That's right, you're a champ." Thanks for watching. Like and share if you enjoyed, don't forget the bell. Subscribe for more videos. See you soon, Martians.